What's up, guys? So today Battlefield 6 has launched their new season along with the Redsec. Now Redsec features a new experience with two different modes. One is the traditional Battle Royale experience, which I will also have a video on coming up shortly. But for this video, I'm going to focus on the Gauntlet game mode. So in Gauntlet, you will queue into a lobby of 32 total people. That's 8 teams because it's going to be 4 players per team. And it's going to be squad-based, Gauntlet-style mission objective gameplay. So this is going to be on the new Battle Royale map called Fort Linden. This is a very war-torn Southern California map. There's going to be lots of debris. There's going to be lots of palm trees, lots of water, pool. Honestly, it's a pretty cool map. And this is the same map that you will be playing on the full Battle Royale. This is just going to be like a sectioned off version. So essentially what Gauntlet does is you're going to have a full match consisting of 4 separate missions. And all 8 teams are going to fight against each other free-for-all style to complete these missions and try to be the best team each round. Now, if you are at the bottom of the leaderboard, so the bottom 2 teams are eliminated after each mission. So after mission 1, you complete your gauntlet. Whatever teams are in the top 6 will move on. The teams of the bottom 2 will be eliminated. Then you'll move to mission 2. The top 4 teams that compete will move on, while the bottom 2 will be eliminated. So essentially you get the point. It is just going to be 4 missions in a row, and your squad of 4 tries to defeat all the other teams and be at the top. And the missions are cumulative, so if you do really well in the first round and you do not as good on the second, those points will stack up and it will still keep you in the middle of the pack. So the types of missions that you're going to run into, these missions are going to be reminiscent of what is also in Battle Royale in this game and in some other Battle Royales like Warzone, where you're just doing very generic run around, stand on this plate or this point and hold it and defend it, or detonate this bomb, kind of like in Rush. Or you will also have something called the circuit, which is like the map is going to be divided out in like a Risk style board, and you will try to capture different satellites while also holding them, and then other teams can try and take those from you or take their own, and you want to hold as many as you can by the end of the match. And then also a very finals-esque, if you played the finals, high-value target mode, where you're trying to kill a high-value target. The reason I say it's like the finals is because it plays very similarly with the way you've got all the teams converging on each other to try to kill each other. And, you know, you're trying to eliminate this one team, but another team's also shooting you in the back. And, you know, it just feels a lot like the finals in that regard. So you've got 4 different missions that you will complete across a random section of the Battle Royale map, and then if you are the best team at the end, you will be victorious. You and your team will win, but you have to knock out all 7 teams on the way there. Some things to note for this game mode in terms of pros and cons. So the pros of this mode, it is a little less stakes than a Battle Royale. There is respawn. You can respawn on teammates just like in the standard game mode, so that is pretty nice. Just if you die, it's not the end of the world. Still pretty important to have your support characters. If you can keep your teams alive, it's going to be a pretty big deal in this mode, so running support is a great option to start. So yeah, the first pro is it's going to be a little bit more casual than the Battle Royale, just giving you a respawn timer and having the ability to keep going. Now, if your team gets eliminated early, it does kind of suck, and you will be out of the game, and you just queue into another one, but not that big of a deal. This mode's great for doing challenges, gaining XP, just like the base game. At times, there will be double points activated, but those points are not XP, so don't get confused. You're just earning points towards the Gauntlet game mode. And Since this is the first day of the mode, obviously I don't know the full details because I haven't won a match yet, and this will lead into, after talking about those pros, some of the cons. And one of the cons of this mode is teammates quitting mid-match when you're winning. So if you're one of the top 2 teams, people will leave at any time, and then the backfill's pretty slow, and you're at a disadvantage automatically because you've got 2 or 3 teammates against squads of 4. It's a lot harder to complete objectives. I definitely think that that is a big weakness of this mode, but with it being more casual, it's not the end of the world. It's not like losing a teammate in quads on the actual Battle Royale, but it's still frustrating. So definitely something to keep in mind is, in my experience, a lot of people were quitting early. I don't know if they're just trying out the mode and they didn't like it, but it was definitely an issue on day 1. So that is definitely one of the cons of the mode. And honestly, other than that, I can't say there's too many other cons. The one other thing I can think of is sometimes it is difficult to spawn on your team. If they're in combat, it just follows the same premise as the regular game. So if you have 3 teammates fighting in a gunfight and you died, the entire time they're in the gunfight, you're just sitting there waiting to spawn on them, and you can't until the fight's over. Sometimes you can't spawn on teammates if there's not enough room to spawn in, like if they're in a very closed off corner and they're kind of like back against the wall trying to hide. So having to spawn somewhere randomly on the map when it's so heavily objective based can be pretty frustrating, and it can cause a chain reaction of your team constantly failing because nobody's spawning on each other. So that is one thing to think about, and definitely another con, if you want to call it. I think it is a con. You know, overall, other than that, game mode's pretty fun. It'll be interesting to see how well it sticks around, if it can keep a player base. Obviously, a lot of people, I think, play Battlefield for the all-out war chaos experience, and this mode is more boots on the ground infantry style. I wouldn't say it's like playing Call of Duty or playing like Warzone. It definitely has its own feel, and I do enjoy the objectives and how it pushes people into each other. But you're not gonna have, you know, all-out warfare with, you know, a high necessity for having multiple engineers on the team or anything like that. There will be maybe a tank or 2 that will spawn over the course of a match. A lot of matches I didn't see any vehicles. So it is very, very boots on the ground focused. And I think, you know, a lot of people who play Battlefield are going to be looking for a little bit more of a blend of vehicle combat and large-scale infantry combat, and this kind of doesn't really have that feature of either one. This is just more tactical squad gameplay. So if you do like that, I think this mode will be a lot of fun. Just be interesting to see how many of a Battlefield player base will stick to something like this. So ultimately, my early impressions of the Gauntlet is it's pretty fun. It seems pretty fun. I was pretty locked in the couple of games I played, but again, it is pretty early, and I really just wanted to kind of, rather than focusing on if it's good or not, just kind of give you an idea of how it actually works. So that'll wrap it up for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you could, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, have a good day and peace out.